Yeah, dude, welcome to another wild ride with Steve-O. This one's crazy because I actually wore shoes. And, of course, I love this guy, and I couldn't wait to give him Steve-O's hot sauce for your butthole, which is now finally available on Amazon. Plus, I believe we've got it stocked everywhere so you can get it on Prime almost no matter where you live. Oh, dude, this stuff's delicious. But I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, Brendan Schaub. Yeah,
What's
dude.
up, dude?
Wow, there's a lot to talk about, man.
There
and
is.
First off, thank you for doing this, man.
Oh, thank you, man. Thanks for making it easy and coming to the crib.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
You can always tell when somebody is a podcaster because it's so much easier to arrange a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, trying to book podcasts, guests is exhausting.
I do. I
It's
talk
such a
about it all the
beast.
time.
It's one of the worst things. I've kind of stopped doing it. With one of the shows I do, Showtime books most of the guys, but it's just a beast, man. And then also, like I do so many shows a week, I constantly have to carry, you're the engine of the show, so I constantly have to come up with stuff. So it's rare I do other people's podcasts, man. So I was excited to do this, man.
Cool, man. Well, thank you. And as you said, we came to your crib. I'm just fucking blown away by your house. I set the color of our sign to green.
Oh, nice.
Because you're obviously rolling in dough, dude. How long have you lived in this house?
About 2 years now.
Wow, dude.
Do you still have your Porsche?
Yep.
How many cars you got?
4
Nice.
cars. Yeah, podcasting and stand up, man. It's the good
Dude,
life.
I mean, that's the thing, dude. Like, I saw this documentary on Netflix, and for anybody who doesn't know, if you've been living under a rock, of course, Brendan Schaub is a former UFC heavyweight fighter.
I was.
Turned stand-up comedian and podcaster. And, okay, so I watched this documentary on Netflix called The Hurt Business. Did you see that?
The Hurt Bit. I'm trying to think which one was that.
It was about MMA. It was about fighters. I suppose mostly UFC. Daniel Cormier was heavily featured on it. In any case, they go into just kind of like the stories of all these UFC fighters, and you quickly learn that the norm is for people to devote their lives to fighting.
Yes.
Like, even at the highest levels in the UFC, really not make much money at all.
Not at all.
Utterly destroy their bodies and even maybe their brains. And then at the end of their run, just left with absolutely nothing to show for it.
Literally nothing but probably CT and, a lot of these guys, they look at like a Conor McGregor or Ronda Rousey or these big boys, and they're the less than 0.001%
Right.
who literally can ride off in the sunset with their money. There's not many of them. So it's just a sad story, man. The other thing is in these other leagues, they're kind of compensated. They're so compensated that after the fact, they still have health insurance or 401k, something like that. A lot of these guys' futures is, working the UFC gyms, holding mitts, and
Oh, 100%.
it's such a bummer, man.
And we had Rhonda on the podcast.
Yeah.
And when I expressed that to her, it was crazy. She said, well, oh, no, dude. Like, if it wasn't for the UFC, if it wasn't for these fighting organizations, then, like, Olympic athletes wouldn't have anything to do to make money. She had, like, this other opposite
That's
view
her
on it.
perspective, though, right? Because she came from being an Olympian. But then also, you're talking, if you ask Patrick Mahomes, how's the NFL? He's like, that's great, dude. But you ask another dude, like, dude, it sucks, man. So, like, Rhonda's experience, it was great for her and it worked out for her. But,
Right.
For the rest of the league, the majority of them don't have that experience.
Right.
I remember Dana White said when Chuck Liddell was fighting Tito in the other fight, he's like, we actually pay him not to fight. He said-
Chuck?
yeah.
I mean, maybe when he got older, but Dana said it best, and fighters should take note of this. He said, fighting the UFC isn't a career. It's an opportunity. So, you got to appreciate Dana just putting it all out there. He's like, I'm not saying this is a career. For most people, it's not. It's an opportunity. And for some people, they hit while the iron's hot and they make a living doing it. So, it is what it, but that, again, it's not a knock on the UFC or Conor or Ronda or Khabib or, these guys making real money or Stylebender. it's the
Dude.
nature of sports.
Stylebender. I'm just falling in love with that kid more and more.
I told Rogan, so after Stylebender's last fight, when he knocked out Paulo Costa, I text Rogan, I said, if aliens came to the earth, they're like, what's mixed martial arts? I would send them one person and be Stylebender.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what it is. He's our guy. He's the best we have to offer.
Dude, it's so... I just saw how he defended the whole bringing up John Jones's mother in a tweet. And his defense of that was just so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It was just fantastic.
What do you say?
He was just like, hey, man, he mentioned my dad. I mentioned him. I don't care who's alive. You bring a family into it, fuck it.
Those boys are ruthless, man. Those younger fighters with social media, they're ruthless, trolling each other. It's just like, damn, dog.
I heard you say, they were saying, comparing a fighter to like how many people he can take out in a bar, and you said John Jones can take out about 10 people at a bar.
At least.
What can Stylebender take out? If Jones is
10, I mean, Stylebender has to be right there, 8 or 9. Depends what city we're. Are we in Albuquerque? are we in WeHo?
Yeah, I guess that's funny.
And the differential there between the 8 and 9 is just because Israel Adesanya Stylebender is fighting at middle.
Yeah, he's a little smaller. So if there's a really big guy, maybe instead of one punch, it takes 2 punches.
How many people can you take out at a bar? You think comfortably?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. No idea.
When
I'm
you
so
said
far
that,
removed from that. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, so
it'd be tough to find me in a bar to start, and then the other would be I've never been in a street fight since
Well, how do you know you're good at UFC fighting if you've never been I figured
because
you in
it's a
college,
sport, right? That's like saying it's a sport. So
you think Henry Cejudo's ever been in a street fight?
I mean, growing up, I always thought you would be like you were whooping dudes' asses in high school. You're like, okay, I'm good at fighting.
Complete opposite.
Fuck, what a crazy sport to get into then.
Not really. Most. That's what I think. That's the confusion. Most people think those guys are like bullies or barbaric or something. No, most of them are martial artists. I would guarantee most of them haven't been in street fights.
Yeah, that's
most of them are pretty controlled. And
when was the first time you got like really punched in the face? Then
my brother. I have an older brother. He used to beat the shit out of me.
Yeah. So you've been punched in the face, so it wasn't like, oh shit.
No, older brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your story is that you were fighting and got into podcasting and then stand up, or just at the same time you did both?
So was
you weren't doing stand up yet when we first met. You were doing Fighter and the Kid.
I was doing Fighter and Kid. I was doing a version because we were doing Fighter and Kid live.
Right.
So that's how I kind of got introduced to stand up. But I was doing. I was in the UFC, but when I was in the UFC, halfway through my career, I moved to LA, and Brian Callen was the first friend I ever made, and so he wanted to start a podcast. So I was like, I think I fought 4 times before I retired, but when I came to LA, that's when me and Brian decided to start doing a podcast. So I was doing the podcast while fighting, and that was before everyone and their mom had a podcast. So I was talking about camp and my opponent and leading up to the fight, and people seemed to like it. And then it just kind of freaking took off, man. And I remember my last fight, I lost to Travis Brown. I got a check for fighting him for getting punched in the face. And then when I came home from the event, I got a check for advertising on the podcast. And the check for the podcast was more. I was like, I'm fucking out of here.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we're in a similar situation where because we were doing some other shit and then we crossed over into stand-up, people like to hate on us and say, oh, they're not fucking funny. They shouldn't be doing stand-up. They got an unfair advantage because they already have an audience, or they're buddies with Joe Rogan, or
Yeah. That doesn't really work, though. So as soon as you say, oh, the only reason he has this, you're out. Like, you're out. You're part of the problem. I think a lot of it, and I stopped. I don't see anything on social media anymore. I haven't been on social media in months. I don't see any of it. A lot of it is just jealousy, right?
Sure.
Because, you're kicking ass, you're selling tickets on the road. And I would say this, anyone who's like, oh, Steve-O's not funny or Brendan's not funny, you can find out if a person's not funny, because how long have you been doing stand-up?
10 years.
10 years. And you've gone back to markets how many times?
5 times over.
So just so you morons know, the way comedy works is when you go into city, if you eat all the dicks, when you go back, they do not buy tickets.
Yeah.
It's not, even if they're like, I like Steve, I like him on Jacket, it doesn't matter. They're not buying your ticket.
Right.
So for you to come back to a market, if you're selling more and more tickets, it means you're doing something right. It means you're funny.
Yeah.
So for me, I always gauge my level of stand-up and how I'm doing when I go back to markets, if I'm selling more and more tickets.
Sure. And, you know, I want to be careful not to blow too much smoke up your ass, but I fucking really enjoy you on podcasts,
Oh,
man.
thanks,
I
brother.
think that you're like, and I particularly like you talking about fighting.
Yeah.
You know, there's something about listening to, you know, you talk about fighting that's just somehow like more compelling, you know? And I like your angle on it, you know?
Thanks, brother. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's weird. I only got really comfortable talking about it probably, man, I don't know. I fell in and out of love with it because when I first got into comedy, it's like, I'm a comic. You know, I'm not that fight guy. I'm a comic. So I shied away from talking about fighting, getting so balls deep into fighting. And then as of recent, I'm like, yeah, I love fighting. Like, I love talking about it. Like, get into it, man.
Sure.
Because you can still do that. And you can still be funny on these other podcasts. So I just recently I started getting comfortable and took that chip off my shoulder.
Well, I like listening to you too because when you had that beef with Dana,
Yes.
you would still do the news about Dana and it was completely unbiased. That's why
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck, like
Yeah, I think where it makes me a little different than most of the other guys who are in the MMA space is all of them need Dana White. Either they work for ESPN, they work for Dana in some regards, or he influences their show. I have nothing to do with it. I have nothing to do. It doesn't matter. I mean, if he wanted to, he could try to shut my show down. He can't. So those other guys, they have to tread a line, which sucks, you know. And
Yeah.
I don't. And I give Dana a lot of credit too, because when I first started podcasting, because of the way he handled me when I was in the UFC, the chip on my shoulder was this fucking big. So I had venom in my veins, man. But it gave me the motivation, the fire to start the podcast and just speak my truth. And then now I look back, I'm like, what are you so mad at, man? And I have no ill will towards him. If he called me, he was like, hey, Brendan, can we come on your podcast to promote UFC, whatever, 260? I'm like, yeah, dude, whatever you want.
Dude, Dana White is the fucking man. You
It
know,
depends.
Right. No, I
It
get
depends who you are. It depends who you are.
I get it.
Because I'm in the position I'm in now, where, you know, I'm like Andy Dufresne, Shawshank Redemption. I crawled through the shit. I made it through the other side. But there's a lot of guys who are still in that fucking prison.
Right.
And they're
For
like,
sure.
yeah, dude, you're fine, but we're still broke over here, man. So,
Right.
but the perspective I have now is I don't know if I would run the UFC any different than Dana does.
Sure, I think it's human nature
As a
to
businessman.
get away with what you can in business, and like where there's other situations that like Dana's got the whole fucking monopoly on the whole sport. You know, like
He does, and it's a good and a bad thing.
if somebody's gonna leave, say, you know, all these people, John Jones, Jorge Masvidal, they're talking about, oh, let me out of my contract. I'm gonna take
Yeah.
off. Where are you gonna go? You're not gonna go anywhere that you're gonna do better than the UFC.
Well-
so Dana White doesn't pay people simply because he doesn't have to.
Agree. Yeah, and that's the business plan they created. But then also, you know, before when their business model was pay-per-views, they needed stars. They needed the Rondas,
Right.
the Brock Lesnars. They needed them because they made their nut because they weren't owned by WME. Now they're with WME and they have this ESPN deal. It doesn't matter if the headline's two flyweights, if it's an all-chick card. They don't give a shit about your ratings because
Yeah,
they're
but-
getting their nut from ESPN.
Sure, but
So that's why when Masvidal or John Jones or any fighter goes, pay me this or I'm not fighting, he goes, cool, dude, don't fight. Because all we
Right.
got to do contractually is line up these fights. If we hit that mark, I think it's like 40 fights, we hit that mark with 700 million, no matter who's on the card.
right.
why? Because they get paid off of like a guarantee like 700,000 pay-per-views.
No, they don't even care about pay-per-views. As long as they deliver a certain amount of fights to
Oh,
the ESPN
Jesus.
network, they get their money. They make no matter what. Again, so if it's John Jones every other weekend, cool. If it's Billy, who we've never heard of from the
Same
Dana
amount.
White Contender Series, cool. As long as they produce a fight, they're good.
All right, but the cards have been fucking awesome, though.
They've been amazing.
They've been fucking
Again, and I know
awesome.
I'm not hating on UFC. That's their business model.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
give a flying fuck.
Right.
I don't care. What I care about is that they're putting on fights.
Oh,
Because it
dude,
gives
I
me
love
something
it.
to talk about.
And I don't give a fuck who's fighting. I'm never gonna miss a fight,
Dude, I'm a degenerate. I watch Invicta. I watch Dana White Contender Series.
Oh, yeah,
I watch
Contender
two
Series.
praying mantis outside this RV, dude. I got problems, man. I don't give a fuck who's fight. Bellators. I watch all.
Yeah.
You watch
dude.
it all, huh?
Would you ever want to be an official commentator?
Man, I gotta say, Brendan's answer to this question surprised me. But what surprised me much more was how I managed to just play it off throughout the whole episode as if I wasn't totally injured. After the way I bruised my ribs skateboarding at Tony Hawk's warehouse just a couple days ago. I was trying a frontside 50-50 to frontside board slide, just about landed it perfect, except I went flying from the top of the ramp straight to my ribs on the cement, and it's killing me. But it was totally worth it. You know why? Because that little skateboard session at Tony Hawk's warehouse got me the most intense workout I believe I have ever recorded with my Whoop membership. That's right, look at it right there, 14.1. Skateboarding, baby. This system is so intense. It knows everything. This band, it tells me like everything about what's going on with my body, precisely how much I'm sleeping, what kinds of sleep, like how much time I'm spending in deep sleep, REM sleep, like how much time I'm just laying down. Like, it knows my heart rate variability. It knows when I'm working out. It knows what kinds of workouts I'm doing. It's got more insight than any fitness tracker out there. And I'm telling you, if you haven't tried it yet, then it's time for you to go to whoop.com. That's WHOOP.com. And use the promo code STEVO and you get 15% off at checkout. But I'm telling you, if you're not getting on the Whoop program, you're kind of blowing it. Because you could be a lot healthier, you could sleep better, rest better, recover better, look better. So, one more time, for 15% off at checkout, you're going to whoop.com using the promo code STEVO for 15% off at checkout. Now, let's talk about commentary.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I see the heat that Rogan gets now that he's like mainstream. And I don't know if guys, because I feel like I'm cut from the same cloth, I don't know if we're made for that world. Because if you get to a certain level,
Say this,
then the
don't say
mainstream
that.
media is like, wait, what did he talk about? He was talking about, like on yesterday's podcast, he's talking about fat bitches for an hour? No, we can't have this guy on.
So weird.
What are we doing, dude?
Right.
You know, so as far as the commentating gig goes, this is where Dana and I are different. I think he still has ill will towards me. So I don't think until he dies or until he gives up the UFC, I'll never get an opportunity to work with the UFC. Never. But take Dana out of the equation. I'm friends with every single person in the from the marketing department, the business side, the refs, the fighters, the coaches, people that work in I'm friends with everybody. The snitch, the golden snitch, Nowitzki, we're all good. I'm cool with everybody. But I think Dana just has such ill will towards me for whatever reason. I don't think I'd get an opportunity to work in the UFC, and that's ideally where I'd work if I were to do it. But outside that, I'm with Showtime, which just signed a deal with Bellator. So there's conversation there to bring me into something like that. But, I don't know.
Cool.
Is
Long story
Showtime-
short, I don't know. That's a long story.
No, that's all right.
You're like, so you're doing it? Or?
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
That was a long story.
Nah, it's
so
good.
you're okay, dude.
So,
Is show? Okay, first of all, is Conor Pacquiao happening or no? That's
No.
just bullshit.
no,
not
absolutely fucking not. That was the for all the embarrassing things that have come out, regarding Conor McGregor. I would say that this Pacquiao business is probably the worst.
Well, but here's the only thing with that is it's hard to be like, oh, that's all bullshit, because there's a few. I'll say this: if Conor wanted that to happen, it would happen. They have the same manager. They're both down to take the fight, but I think Conor. It would ruin his legacy if he went that route right now, because he's in his prime. For him, he cares about his legacy in the UFC. So if he cares about that, which he does, that's why you're going to see a Dustin Poirier fight, probably Khabib fight, a Tony Ferguson fight.
I couldn't believe that McGregor accepted the Poirier fight.
Really?
Well, he already
I mean,
turned
I'm
it
not
down
sure.
a while
Why so?
ago.
Well, I know that he starched Poirier in the past, but Poirier,
long time ago.
Since then, Poirier has been
Monster.
unbelievable.
Monster.
A monster. Wars, like.
Stylistically, though, for Conor, if you're Conor's manager, I think his name's Adi Otter. If you're his manager, and you look at the roster. Tony Ferguson's tough fight. Gaethje, tough fight, but not terrible for him. Khabib, awful fight. Dustin Poirier, pretty good fight. Guy's ranked number 2, I think, at lightweight. Like, not a bad gig.
Why wouldn't you do Masvidal then with Conor?
Because Masvidal's too
too
heavy.
big.
He's 170.
Yeah.
So it's like, we need to get Conor on the path to get a title. We need him to get a title shot. So you got to do it at 55. He's not a true 70er.
But isn't he saying he feels better at 170?
Nah, that's bullshit.
Oh.
But so for him, it's like we got to quit doing the spectacles. We can't fight Masvidal. We can't fight Pacquiao. None of that.
155.
Stop that. Just fight at 55. Do work, man, and
I
cement
can't
your
believe
legacy.
that you think Conor McGregor can beat Justin Gaethje.
So Conor to beat Khabib is the absolute nightmare for him. Could he do it? Maybe. I'm a big Conor fan. Can he do it? Maybe. But stylistically against Gaethje, because Gaethje doesn't want to wrestle. Gaethje wants to sit on the outside, fancy himself a striker. If it's a striking match, I'd take Conor in that fight.
Okay.
Ooh, really?
And Conor's not been known to like shy away from a fight anyway, right?
takes
Even if it's
any
a tough
fight, right?
fight, he'll
Never.
take it.
He was
right?
trying to fight Diego Sanchez, just stay active. And those were the
but
league DMs,
that
you know?
would- I think that the Diego Sanchez was a little bit embarrassing. What is Diego?
I'm with Dana. It's like, dude, I can't do that, dude.
Dude, Diego Sanchez, 39 years old. It's like,
And 39 in the UFC, he's been fighting since what? Tough 2?
right, and he's just not there. There's something fucking like,
Yeah.
there's something off.
Yeah, it starts with his crazy coach.
Yeah.
But it's like, he's 39. He's 120, fight years. He's so old.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not. That was a bad look to even.
I don't know if it's a bad look because everyone was matched up. They weren't giving anybody. He's like, dude, give me fucking Diego. He just won. And Danny's like, I can't do that.
Why
dude.
wouldn't he ask for Nate Diaz? That's the
That
fight.
fight? No, it's not the fight. You're a casual. That's not the fight.
Yeah.
You're such a casual.
Ooh, looks like Scott might have lost some points with Brendan right there. Nobody wants to be casual, especially not with the ladies. You want things to get serious, and maybe even have somebody venture into your undies, right? Now, if that happens, boys, what are the ladies going to find? Are they going to see that you're a mess down there? Oh, dude, you don't want that. That's why we have Manscaped. These are the most important grooming products a man can have. For example, the Lawnmower 3.0. That's the greatest ball trimmer there is in the whole wide world. Comes with a light so you can see what you're trimming. You can't go wrong with this thing. Again, it's the best in the world. Comes with ball deodorant. God, with all the skateboarding I'm doing, trust me, my balls need this Manscaped ball deodorant. They've got the best products for grooming out there, man. The Weed Whacker, this takes care of all my nose and ear hair. That's right, I said it. I got nose and ear hair, but not anymore because I weed whack it away. Yeah, man. So, I ask you, gentlemen, how serious are you with the ladies? And are they taking you seriously? Because you got to have your stuff groomed. And I want Manscaped to help you out too. So you're going to go to manscaped.com/Stevo. What are you going to get? You're going to get 20% off your order and free shipping. That's 20% off your order with free shipping if you go to manscaped.com/Stevo. Yeah, dudes. So get your balls in order. And now let's watch how Scott handles this.
Because I'm not making fun of you.
No.
But that most people, I get that all the time. Like when I go to Starbucks, like, dude, Nate Diaz, Conor, like you got to stop that because
it's a big money fight, a trilogy.
that fight's never going anywhere. So Conor could fight Gaethje, could fight Poirier, win those, lose the belt to Khabib, do his run. He could get older. The trilogy fight, that's never. UFC has that in their back pocket whenever they want. They're
Right.
going to wait for both of them to do their work, and they're like, all right, let's do it. That's what the people want. But that's not, like, that fight does nothing for any, like, what do we do with that? Whoever wins that, what do we do with it? What do you do with that? Like, it's not going to progress anybody's career. Like, Nate Diaz,
What weight would they fight at? Diaz is 170.
price 70. I wish he'd come down to 55 if they were to do, the trilogy fight, but I'd assume 70. But again, for Conor to be taken serious by the masses, he has to fight a true contender, not these one-offs of Nate Diaz or Masvidal or Pacquiao. He has to really dive in at 55, and it's fucking stacked, dude. It's murderer's row.
I feel like
here's the thing: he can do it. He just has to commit.
I feel like he's got too much going on extracurricularly to like make a move for the belt in 55.
Because his whiskey. They're just
That,
saying
the court cases, probably partying too much.
Like, having too much fun being
he's
rich.
just having too much fun.
I need you to continue the conversation while I get Wendy water.
Okay.
Does Conor, being in the position he's in, have any leverage with Dana to get more money, or even him?
He has all the leverage, literally all the leverage. And that's why I think
he like the one guy that
that's why I
could
ride so
negotiate
hard
with
for him
Dana?
because everybody in the UFC, I look at it like the circus. All the fighters are normal gray elephants. Conor's the one green fucking elephant everybody's going to pay to see. So he finally can ask for more peanuts. So I think I just like that he has the UFC brass by the balls. Look at the way he talks to Dana.
Yeah.
Look at the way he leaks his DMs. He's like, you ain't gonna do shit. Yeah. And then how about he goes, all right, Dustin Poirier, let's do a exposition fight. We'll just do an amateur fight
On our own in
On our
Ireland.
own. And then Dana's like, no, please.
Yeah.
No, we'll do it here. It's like, that's what I thought, dude.
Oh.
I just love. It's not that I dislike Dana. I like when somebody sticks it to the man.
Sure,
And
of course.
every time Conor fights, he sticks it to the man. You're talking about a kid, 5 years ago was on welfare? Now he's the most powerful, most famous fighter on the planet in any combat sport.
Yeah, what is that? I mean, how do you go from being on welfare to being that guy?
Talent. I think it's the perfect storm. His charisma,
Mindset.
being from Dublin, his mindset, his style.
Was it 5 years only?
It's about 5 or 6
When
years,
was his
man.
first fight? 2014?
Well, he's
15?
taking some time off, so let's say 6 years ago. 6 years ago, you're talking about a kid on welfare, and I think it's like that dream. It's like a Hollywood movie. It's
Yeah,
nuts,
it's
dude.
crazy.
And yeah, he has all those shenanigans outside of the UFC, which give any kid $100 million and see how you're going to respond.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to have some
That would
fuck
be
ups.
nuts. Well,
Yeah.
even Dana, when he was on our show, he talked about how the reason Conor's got to be so big is that he won, and then he kept taking fights and kept risking it, like risking that legacy.
And winning and calling it out and winning.
Yeah.
But it's like any of these guys. You had John Jones on here, right?
Yeah.
So people want to give him shit. Dude, try being the youngest champion ever to do it, having that skill, all that money, and not fuck things up.
Was he 20? When
He was 21, youngest
the
champion
youngest
ever.
champ?
When he beat Shogun, I fought on the same card. Try being that guy, dude. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna have some mistakes.
I can't
Of
believe
course.
anyone who's young and famous and not like addicted to cocaine and drunk driving and just doing everything crazy. Like, how do you not?
Hey,
go
it's weird to me.
crazy?
People can't comprehend it. Like with Bieber, they're like,
Exactly.
man, he needs to see a therapist. I'm like, you fucking think?
Yeah.
The kid's been in a fish. He's been in the Truman Show
Yeah.
since he was 8 years old. He's on YouTube playing the goddamn drums
Right.
on the side of the street.
Yeah.
His dad's a piece of shit. He's like trying to figure it out, man.
Sure. And you want to pretend like that wouldn't be you if you
I
were
know.
150 millionaire when
Yeah,
you're
it
like
was-
18?
Steve and I were talking about that yesterday. Like the age you blow up is like the age you stop emotionally developing, right? Because it's all
That's
this
fair.
shit happens.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about Macaulay Culkin, so it's almost like the younger you are when you blow up, like you're more fucked because it's like
I think that's a good point.
temper tantrums and like
But also nothing like you don't get any real life lessons. Like
Right.
you have entourage around you. Everyone's doing everything you need. Anything you need, they get it for you.
Yeah.
It's like you have this weird talent. Everybody needs something from you. So you're talking to people different. Like nobody treats you like a human. So
yeah,
it has to be fucking weird.
it's crazy, dude.
It has to
Yeah,
be
dude.
weird.
So have you done any shows, comedy shows in the pandemic?
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
Yeah,
Of course you have.
Yeah,
You're the
fucking-
most prolific fucking. How did I ask that?
Yeah,
yeah, I
Fucking-
was one of the canaries in the coal mine. I came back
Yeah.
with a cough.
Do you have the antibodies right now?
Oh yeah, I'm straight.
You've
yeah.
been tested.
I've been tested. I actually have someone coming today to test me again because I'm doing a Rob Dyrdek show on Thursday.
Oh,
and they
cool.
make you take a bunch of tests. So.
The ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Cool. Have you done it before?
Yeah, I'm actually I'm shooting 3 on Thursday. I'll be the most reoccurring guest ever.
Sick.
Wow,
Congratulations.
Dude, that's super
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, that's our people.
Yeah, I love Rob, man.
Yeah.
I fucking love Rob. Love
Yeah.
Rob. Yeah, so I did shows, and I didn't really think there'd be much of a blowback, but people were pissed.
Yeah, dude.
People were so mad.
We were talking about that on The Fighter and the Kid.
The comment. The only thing
Yeah.
that killed at Brendan and Brian's show was the fans got COVID.
COVID, the only thing killing at a Brendan Schaub show.
I saw that. Oh, man.
Yeah, so I got that, and then I was still podcasting, and then I was down for like I was fine a day later. People were like, I got like death threats, like I hope you die. This is what you get.
So weird.
Like all my entire family got it. My mother-in-law, father, everybody got
They
it.
get it from you?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were they like, what the fuck, Brendan? Thanks a lot.
No, I told them like I'm gonna go stay at a hotel. Like, no, just stay in the basement, quarantine yourself down there. So I didn't see anybody for
Didn't
14
even
days.
hang out, gave him COVID.
Yeah, how'd they get it?
That's like the guy
Just
who's like
brushing up against.
one pump chump gives her fucking herpes.
Yeah, or kids are pregnant. No, it was like everyone got it, but everyone was fine.
But you said so. I was listening to your podcast when you had it, and you were doing IV therapy, and you're doing you did the hydrochloroquine.
The hydrochloroquine thing's weird, right? Because Rogan said that. He's like, oh, Brendan did hydrochloroquine. Everyone's like, that's why you beat it. You took the Trump drug. First of all, I didn't really, I had a mild symptom. I was like, I don't feel great. My doctor was like, I can send you some hydrochloroquine. You take it. So I took it, made me feel worse, but not sick, just physically I felt like shit.
Like taking malaria pills or something.
Yeah, it made me, I was like, oh, and he goes, then don't take it. So I took 2 hydrochloroquine pills one day and then waited another day, took it, and I was like, I don't feel good, stop taking it. But I didn't need anything, dude. It just...
Yeah.
Are you less afraid of it now that you've had it?
I've never been afraid of it. I've never been afraid of it, ever.
Nice.
That's why I was like, if I get it, cool, man. You know, I look at the stats and I go, all right, so 99% of the people that get it are fine, unless you're obese or you got underlying health conditions. We're just gonna stop. What am I supposed to do, man?
Yeah,
so I took the
completely
risk, and I got it. Brian got it. My whole family got it. Everybody's fine. I've been back on the road several times since then, and business as usual, man.
And you sent me a photo from Addison, Texas. They're not limited capacity. They're just 100% full room.
Yeah, they didn't give a fuck. I think they said it was 85% capacity, and every show, I mean, there's people to the back wall. That's the picture I sent. I look at the manager. I go, dude, this is 85. He goes, we just say that for you LA pussies to get your hair.
That's funny, dude. Addison, Texas is the place across the street from Hooters.
Addison, Texas.
That's right.
Yeah,
Dallas.
yeah,
that's right.
Dallas.
that's
Yeah,
right.
Hooters right across the street. There you go.
That's where that what the manager name is.
No, he always says
Jeff
"Mamma
or-
Mia."
yeah, Mamma Mia.
That guy.
That guy. Chatty Cathy.
Yeah,
That's funny, dude.
yeah. That guy's hilarious.
Where else have you been touring?
Let's see, dude. Phoenix.
Phoenix doesn't give a fuck.
Dude, I was in Phoenix was the first date I did, and I was like, oh, everybody here getting COVID. They were.
Yeah.
I mean, you thought it was spring break. Girls with the shirts off. It's packed.
Clubs are popping off
What
in
club are you doing in
Phoenix.
Phoenix? Stand
Stand
up
up
live.
live, and I'm actually back there November 5th through the 7th.
That's a huge club. What's the capacity? 550.
5 something, and it's that they were not messing around, man.
Are they putting 550 in there?
And you're going back in February?
I'm going back in November 5th through the 7th, because first time I went, it was a Brian Callen and Brendan show. And then they were like, hey, will you come back out? I'm like, yeah, I'll come back out there, dude.
Completely different material?
Majority of it, probably 80% all new material,
great.
yeah. Because I only did about 15, 20 minutes with Brian. So
Yeah.
that'd be all new material, yeah.
Fuck, does it feel good to be back on the road?
Hell yeah, man. And I got this, and actually, it started after we talked. I watched your special that night.
Oh no way!
and
Thank you,
fucking
dude.
crushed.
Dude, thank you.
But my takeaway from your special is it's so, and that's why I said in my post, it's so entertaining, it's so good, and just the video stuff you do. I was like, I gotta step up my video game, man. And even the highlight you sent me, I'm like, I just gotta step my game up. So I hired a guy. So I got a guy coming with me on the road now to shoot footage and just some raw footage, and then I'll probably put out 15 to 20 minutes of new material in December, January online somewhere.
Nice, man.
But
Dude,
you inspired me, man. I was like, I got to step my game up, man.
Well,
the
thank you
visuals
so
on
much,
this
man.
is dope. Yeah.
I appreciate that, man. And dude, I fucking sat on, like I told you, man, I sat on that thing for 2.5 years, man. I taped it back in January of 2018. And that's the one pisser about it for now, is that doing stand-up since then, there's just still been way more improvement, you know?
Way
So
more, yeah.
that's not representative of
Yeah, isn't it weird? Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
that's why, to your point, that's why I have this 15, 20 minutes of material on Corona and my buddy's getting accused of getting canceled. So I have this material. I'm like, well, how long am I going to be able to use that before we get into 2021? And I've improved so much at stand up with my delivery and writing jokes, stuff like that since my special.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to put something out, man.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
they're probably
But you
hurting.
inspired it. You inspired it. I'll be honest, man.
Well,
I mean,
thank you.
I feel like they got to be hurting for new material because nobody's doing stand up, so they're probably not getting any new stand up material for any of these networks, right? Because nobody's practicing and
Yeah.
I heard Netflix had like
Stockpiled.
so many.
I know
specials. Like,
Netflix last year because Theo and I think Schultz were talking with them. I'm pretty sure they greenlit 600 specials.
Yeah.
So
600?
600, and that was like a year and a half ago. So they have some in the tank.
Right, it's crazy. Now you just said that you're doing material about your buddies getting canceled. We were honestly like Paul brought. He says
Should we ask about that?
Probably shouldn't ask him about that.
I was like, I don't want to ask it, but maybe you can
No,
ask
I'm
it.
open. You can fire away, man. I'm gonna open.
I mean,
I mean,
it up.
I'm just curious, like your perception of how that went down. I mean, it's
I don't, I don't think anyone's ever like equipped to deal with that, you
Right.
know, because Brian's been so influential on me, and he's been such a positive person in my life, and he's just, from what I know, Brian Kelly's a great dude.
He's
And
been so supportive of me.
yeah, he's always
Like,
thought very highly
yeah.
of you, and so for me, it's just such a weird world because where I come from, when I was having my issues with Dana White or I was having my issues with Fox or anything, I get on. This is my weapon. I get on the mic and I go, man. I don't pull any punches, and I even if I'm in the wrong, I say it on the mic. So my initial reaction was to get on there and fucking go. And Brian's like, "You can't do that, buddy." I'm like, "What do you mean I can't do it?" He's like, "You can't do that. It's gonna hurt me more. It's gonna help me. I want you to do nothing." I'm like, "All right, well, I'll let you do it." He goes, "I can't be there." And I'm like, "What do you mean you can't be?" He's like, "I can't be associated with it anymore. Not right now. I can't until we figure more things out, until the process goes along further. There's nothing I can do." So I guess for me, if I'm being dead honest, it's more of like, in LA, I feel so lonely because my guys left, man. My guys left. So Rogan's gone, right? Who's, he's a mentor and one of my best friends, and he leaves. And I still talk to him every day, but it's just different when he's not here. So he leaves. Theo moves to Nashville, even though I still see him every other week because we do King of the Sting. But he's in Nashville.
So he's doing that remotely?
No, he flies in. We shoot like 2 episodes, then he flies back out.
wow.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's the man. So he flies here, but you gotta realize Theo, man, he'd be at my house every other day playing with my kids and stuff like that. So Theo's in Nashville, and then Brian, I can't be on air with Brian, and then it's just like the Rat Pack broke up, so
Yeah.
it's lonely, man.
So what are you gonna
It's
do?
heartbreaking. Again, I don't think there's any book I can buy that shows when your friend gets accused of rape, this is how you deal with it.
During a pandemic.
Yeah, so it's like Fighter and the Kid has given me so much. It's like that's my baby. What people don't realize is, for a long time, Fighter and the Kid wasn't important to Brian. Brian was a big actor, and Brian had stand up, and all I had fighting and podcasting. And I loved the podcast, and I put everything into it. So there's days where me and Brian were getting fights because I'd beg him to come and do the show because it was never his thing. His friends made fun of him for doing podcasts, his Hollywood friends.
Wow.
And now who's laughing? All these dumbasses have one. But so for me, like that's always been my ride or die is Fighting the Kid. So I'll be honest. There's probably about a month ago, I was just like, I should probably just shut this thing down. I have my 2 other shows. I'm fine. And then I gave a lot of thought about it and asked Chappelle Lacey and Malik B to do the podcast with me.
Those
And
guys are great.
Yeah.
they're so much fun.
Yeah, Josh Wolf's good too.
Josh
I see him
Wolf,
on
but
there.
I really think there's something special with Chappelle and Malik, and I have fun again. But we're probably gonna have to rebrand it and stuff like that. But it's it's straight up heartbreaking, man.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
Are you going to move or are you going to stay in LA?
I'm gonna wait till after the election, and then I'm gonna give it some time after that, see if LA bounces back, and if it's still North Korea here, I'll probably move.
Wow. You said something about Brian Callen not being super into the Fighter and the Kid, but I remember Brian had his own podcast before Fighter and the
It
Kid.
had 14 listeners.
And I went over to his house
Yeah.
and did his podcast like in his kitchen or something, I think. And I was like, wow, yeah, this isn't that big of an operation. And then
What year was that?
I don't know.
2013, 2012.
Something like that,
Yeah.
2013 sounds about right. And so then the Fighter and the Kid, and it was crazy because it's like, wow, the feedback that I got after doing the Fighter and the Kid, I heard about it from everyone. I think I said on the podcast, like, hey, if you're listening, tweet me, and it was just like flooded with tweets. I was like,
Yeah, we
man.
have this ride or die fan base, man, and I think, again, I think what's tough is not be able to get on the mic and like, hey, this is what's going on. This is why Brian's not on the show. But I just contractually and legally I can't do that, and it fucking kills me, man. Because they're probably like, what the? Where's Brian? I'm like, dude, trust me. I wish he was here, but it's out of my control.
Are you talking to him pretty regularly?
Every day,
Nice.
and
But you were supposed to.
I still, I don't think Brian cares if I divulge this information. I still give Brian half the pay, even to this day. Even if he never does the show again, he'll still get money.
Well, but you were going to do Patreon for a minute. I remember you guys were getting on that.
That was my idea for Brian. So he couldn't come back on the regular Fighting the Kid. So I go, dude, so what we'll do is a Patreon, and we'll call it Fighting the Rinks. And I had my guy create a theme song. We had the logos, everything. And Brian's like, you can't do that, Bubba. I'm like, what? He's like, we can't do that either. So he goes, let me do this. You carry Fighting the Kid. Do what you want with it. I'll do the Patreon. It's going well for him. The Patreon's going well for him. So he has the Patreon with Sam Tripoli. He has his own show on there too. And then he's doing the road. So you just got to hope, with everything going on that, yeah.
So when he's saying we can't do that, that's to protect you.
Yes.
That's why and you're saying he was the one he decided to step away from Fighting the Kid. You were like, come on, let's talk about it. Let's just take it head on.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, that's wild. That's admirable of him to protect you in this. I would imagine that's like...
Again, that's what's tough for me, right? Because Brian's... I can't picture him being accused of what he did. I've never seen that side. I know that guy, man. I know Brian, so for me, it's tough. It's really tough, man, because Brian's been such a positive person in my life and got me into stand-up, and he's the one who believed me when nobody did doing stand-up. He came to my first show at the Comedy Store in the Belly Room while, when nobody was laughing, Brian was laughing, and he goes, just keep doing it, keep doing it. So, again, I don't care whatever happens to Brian. I don't know what's going to happen to Brian, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Brian will always receive payment from me. That's my obligation to Brian Callen. I owe him that. Yeah.
That fucking rules, man.
Super cool. Yeah, it was weird because when you came in here, I was like, oh, I think we met before, but I know we've met before, and I don't know why I said that, but I always remembered you before Steve went to do the Fighter and the Kid.
Right.
I remember I had a good conversation. I've always told Steve, I was like, I've always liked you,
thanks,
and I've always
man.
supported you because how cool you were to me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dude, that went a long way.
And he's not kidding at all.
Yeah.
Like, because we went to, I remember getting like fucking
Whole
dog
Foods.
food or something.
Then we met at
like,
Whole Foods or something.
We met at Whole Foods.
Yeah, you got
fucking-
dog food there, though. We
I
ran in there,
I got
yeah.
a big old bag of dog food, and we were all just kind of hanging out, and Scott said, like, hey man, like that's crazy. I've just like showed up as like your buddy, and like
Yeah, you went out of your way to make me feel comfortable.
That's so weird. That's crazy to me. You remember that? I don't know how else to act. That's why I think it's weird if someone's like, not that anybody's ever said this to me. If somebody's like, Steve-O's an asshole, or Brian's an asshole, or Brent's an asshole, I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like, I don't associate with those people, man.
I don't think a lot of people would say that about me. I think
I don't think
asshole?
anybody, no.
Yeah,
Like the
in
nicest
general,
guy
like
ever.
Just
it's easier to be nice. It's just easier to be a nice guy, I think.
Yeah, but it's also in my nature. Like, how
Yeah.
some guys,
Right.
it's just, I don't know what else to do.
Well, it's because probably you guys blew up after you guys were kids. Like, if you guys were child stars, you'd be like, fuck you.
For
Give me
sure.
my,
Well, there's not a lot of child star podcasters either, and also, but also, I'm not that famous. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
I was having this
you're
talk with-
famous.
in our small bubble, in our world, I guess.
But your small bubble gets billions of views on a yearly
again,
basis.
there's different
level.
levels. Like, to me, like, famous is like Chappelle, Burr, Rogan. Like, that's, and I don't know if I'm equipped for that. I might, if you do that, you might come back in 2 years from now when I'm really famous. I'm gonna have a coke problem.
How fucking great Bill Burr on Saturday Night Live.
It's Bill Burr being Bill Burr, man.
It's
so
fucking
funny to
great.
me. It's so refreshing because we're in this woke culture. You need real guys like Bill Burr. We need Bill Burr, man. He's a zebra out there,
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck what people say about him, and he just
But
goes
it's
for it.
I don't know what people expected. Like, you've never seen Bill Burr before? Like, that's Bill being Bill. Like, he didn't tailor that to upset people. He didn't tailor that for the Saturday Night Live crowd. He did what Bill Burr does. His true fans are like, fuck yeah, that was dope. The people that don't know who he is are like, oh my God, I'm
Can't
so
believe he said
upset. He's
that.
like, that's why I did it. That's why I did it, you morons.
Yeah.
So he's great.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, he's good.
They're fucking fantastic.
Yeah, what an accomplishment too for him to be on. I mean, how many stand-up comics just get
Oh,
SNL?
that's
That's rare. That's a small group.
Dude,
I
if there's
feel
a
like.
bucket list, that'd be number one. Saturday Night Live, man.
Stand up.
Would you
Number
ever want
one.
to do that, Steve? Host SNL?
I don't think I have to worry about that.
You don't think so?
I don't know that that's in my future. I'd like to think
Really?
that.
But would you accept if they
Well, of
offer?
course, I like to think that I'm getting some traction. I'm doing my, but I'm in Brendan's boat. I'm like not that big of a deal.
You're pretty famous, Steve-O.
I hustle pretty hard. I'm reasonably successful, but I'm not that like main guy that's gonna be on.
I mean, but when Jackass 4 is coming out, I mean, they had Knoxville do it. I wouldn't be that surprised.
Well,
No, if
yeah, I mean, if
next
you're at
month
least
you're like,
how-
Steve-O's hosting Saturday Night Live, like, oh fuck yeah, that makes sense.
right, and I'd
Cool.
watch because maybe he's gonna do some kind of stunt in a skit or something. I don't know. I'd be intrigued.
They could use it too.
Well,
Yeah.
what kind of guests do they have on there? Who's the host normally? Like, what kind of
I
people?
mean,
It's always different. It's usually actors,
yeah, actors, people who are super A-list people.
Is
Not
it
a
all-
ton of comedians. But I feel bad for Bill doing it, or Burr doing it for during COVID. Because I'm sure it's not the exact same. Like they're
Without the
doing the table
audience
read,
and-
everyone has fucking mask on.
It's weird.
Right.
Like I'd be like, if they offer it to me, I'm like, is there any way we could do it next year?
Yeah.
Like, so I can get the full experience?
Really?
Yeah, rain
Yeah.
check.
Really?
They're like,
Yeah.
you shitting me, dude?
Yeah, and then
They're like, we thought this was Make-A-Wish. Like, we're trying to help you out here, dude.
they just brought up Punky Johnson, or is it Punky Johnson at the Comedy Store? She's a cast member. Like,
Oh, okay.
she was a regular at the store.
Oh, really?
I think if I'm saying that name right, I'm not sure.
I'd be curious how many people are actually watching Saturday Night Live now. Like when it actually airs, some of their clips go viral, especially like Burr stuff.
Sure.
But the actual show, like TV's kind of dead.
Well, it's
Our
crazy.
last guest on here was Keenan Thompson, and I asked him if he knew what the split was between actual television viewership compared to YouTube viewership. And he just said, well, it's obviously important, the YouTube piece, because they do hurry those clips online.
They bust them out fast. That Burr monologue was up. I mean, probably
Right.
that night. I think.
Sure. And I think that I would love to know. I would love to know like the size of the audience, TV versus YouTube. But the YouTube numbers are pretty fucking impressive.
The
What are
YouTube
the-
numbers are good, but you can, and I'm not, hating on any of the Saturday Night Live cast members. Some of those guys are my heroes, but you've recently too, you've seen some of those cast members leave, and then they do the road, and they're not selling like crazy tickets.
Right.
It's so to me it's not that they're bad at stand-up comedy. To me, it means that Saturday Night Live's not that their demo's not that big.
How does Pete Davidson do on the road? Does he
I think he
sell out?
crushes.
He doesn't do the road.
He
He used to,
Yeah.
but not like he does. Like he did some spots around New York, and then I remember he's at the store because Chappelle asked him to open up for him when Chappelle came back, started doing shows, and Pete was like, "I haven't done stand up in like a fucking year, dude." So he came to the store and was trying new material.
Oh.
He was eating shit because it's all new material, but he's just trying to get through it.
Yeah, he doesn't. I
But like
him.
for a special, I love Pete Davidson.
He's great.
Love him, but he's not like a road dog. Like when he's getting ready for a special, not a road dog.
But he was though, right?
He used to be, yeah. I think he started stand-up when he was like 16. He's
yeah,
hilarious
that's the
to
story.
me. Yeah, I love him.
He
and
gets
he's
the
just got like
hottest
the
chicks,
biggest
dude.
dick ever.
Big dick energy, dude.
He's must, dude.
I'd love to see it. I gotta be honest. I gotta
Just
see what his
down.
work is. I'd love if he just leaked one on accident. You know what I'm saying? Kind of how Captain America did.
You're like,
How obvious was that? Chris Evans, like, oh my God, did I do that? It's like,
why does he have a big cock?
it's all right, but it's like,
no
it's
Pete
good.
Davidson.
It's good.
Kind of like Captain.
Captain America did it, and he's like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. It's like, come on, bitch. What are you doing?
That's so funny. That's like when Lenny Kravitz, his pants ripped open, he just has the hugest cock. You're just like,
Yeah, he had a
holy-
big one. And then Tyga did the fans only. He has
Oh,
the fans only
shit.
account and posted his dick on there. He's working with a piece.
What, the dude?
Bigger than Captain America. What?
Are there a lot of dudes on OnlyFans?
I don't think so. But also, your career can be going great. If you guys, like, next month, you're like, Brendan has an OnlyFans account. Like, I thought he was doing well. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
Like,
Did
if you're
you pay?
crushing life, yeah, you got to pay.
You paid to see Tiger's
No, I
dick?
didn't. Obviously, people fucking screenshotted it. And, like, if you post your dick, people can screenshot
Right.
it.
Yeah,
So they
right.
screenshot it and it just went viral. But for him, he's like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want everybody to know I get this giant-ass dick.
Fuck. That's the
why he
guy who
did
was
it.
fucking the Kardashian?
He used to.
He's somewhere
Yeah.
between like super rich and totally in debt. So
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
That's exactly what he is.
That's funny.
yeah.
Yeah,
wonder what he
OnlyFans to me
got.
lets me know you're not doing well.
Right.
But
It's
the
kind
girls
of
do
like
very well on there.
They crush it.
it's kind of like Cameo, but then there's certain people who they're insanely wealthy and they're on Cameo.
Do you do Cameo?
I tried it for like the shortest
I
minute.
can't do it. To me,
couldn't-
it's such a bummer.
I couldn't fucking
They
stand
keep
it.
coming at me like, dude, we get a lot of requests. Have you on here? I'm like, I ain't doing that, homeboy.
I tried it and like I had two problems with it. Number one was that every fucking video I would like just put this pressure on myself to make it like super awesome. You know, I'd be like, hey man, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek at footage that's not been released yet. Get ready to check this out. And then and I'd be trying so hard that it was just too much anxiety.
Exhausting.
Right? It's just I'm trying.
and how much
I,
were you charging?
Fuck. I bounced around with it, like $100, I think.
Chris D'Elia got on there. He just got on there to piss off Brian. So Brian was charging like $5, singing "Happy Birthday" everybody and their fucking mom for like 7 weeks straight. And we're like, Jesus Christ, dude. Chris got on there, and his minimum reserve was like $3,500. Like, yeah,
Did he get any?
I don't think so. He just did it. He was like, yeah, I'll jump on there, and then set his reserve so high. It was like, I think Caitlyn Jenner's the highest though.
Right.
Yeah.
But the other thing was, I remember, like I would agonize over like my ratings. It had to be like 5-star ratings, right? Like then somebody gave me like a fucking shitty rating. And after I gave them a sneak peek of unreleased fucking footage, like went out of my way to try so hard to make it like super entertaining and heartfelt. And this guy was like, what, like, dude, you didn't read like the exact fucking words that
no.
I fucking asked you to fucking read. And I was like, canceled the whole
I'm
fucking
out, dude.
thing. I canceled the whole
Wow.
fucking thing. I was just like, that's the thing about it, is that you just feel like I'm like, you're my fucking birthday party clown for the day. You do
Right.
it, like, do what I want you to do.
But
like,
also,
fuck
like,
you.
some people
Yeah.
do it for charity, which I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. Give the money to charity. But then some people, if someone's like, hey, Steve-O's hustling on Cameo, I'm like, damn, he's not selling tickets on the road. Like, what's going on, dude?
Right, I
You
mean,
know? But then but it's weird because there's also like, like fucking Hugh Jackman's on there.
Is he?
Yeah, like there's like big
Tony
stars on
Hawk
there.
is on there.
Is he still
Legend.
on there?
Tony Hawk. I mean, I don't know. I don't.
But like, I love Tony Hawk. But if you said Tony Hawk's on there, I'm like, oh damn, like he's not still on
why?
skateboards or.
Right, but dude, he just re-released his video game.
That has
dude.
to be
Like,
kicking ass,
his-
right?
like, dude, it's insane. The video game money, and
Oh,
and he
nuts.
had like Tony Hawk through 5, like fucking Underground, then re-released like his video game insanity.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like when
Dr. Drew on Cameo.
he's on Cameo.
Yeah, not only is he fucking podcast all over the place, fucking headline news channel, fucking
He
like
has
CNN
so
money,
much going on.
CNN
Yeah.
money, fucking his own medical practice.
He's a current working doctor, nonstop medical
for sure.
practice. And then he came on my show, or he came on King of the Sting. We had him on King of the Sting, me and Theo and Mike Catherwood. So we did like a Love Line throwback with me and Theo and those guys. And then me and Dr. Drew bonded over 90 Day Fiance. He's like, who's your favorite? And I was like, what's my favorite? So we had this weird connection after. He's like, you want to do a show? I was like, what? He's like, you want to do a 90 Day Fiance show? I'm like, no, I don't like it that much, dude. But we're considering it. I go, how do you have the time, dude?
How
Right.
does he have the
He's like a
time, dude?
workaholic.
Oh,
Yeah.
he sent me a schedule. I was like, well, let's look at our schedules, try and figure it out. Our schedules didn't line up, but he was like, I have these 3 days and these 3 hours. You got to come to the house then. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, let's just skip it for now.
And what, in those 3 days, you just blast out like 9 shows?
Yeah, blast him out.
That's how he does it.
Yeah, that's how he does
Fuck.
it.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. And on Cameo, too, I always noted, like, If you're on it, that's fine. But like, I'll know how popular or like how big of a celebrity you are by how much you charge people. You know, like if you're charging like 400 for a cameo, it's like
you don't really need it. You're just doing it whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Brian was charging $5.
Not
I saw him
$5.
dancing and shit.
I think
$5.
Caitlyn Jenner was like 1,500 or something like that per post.
That even feels like kind of low.
She's a billionaire.
Yeah, like she's got so much money. Be like, if you want
she?
30
Caitlyn
seconds
Jenner?
of my time.
Oh
you
no,
gotta
not
pay.
Caitlyn. Caitlyn's not a billionaire. She killed a guy. But she I thought you were saying Kylie Jenner.
No, Kylie's a billionaire.
Yeah, Kylie's a
She's not a billionaire. She's killed a guy.
yeah, she killed a guy.
What, with the car, right?
Yeah, no one talks about it. Just like everything's all good.
Fuck.
Literally killed a guy.
It was a guy?
There was a guy, and she was in a Hummer and ran to the
PCH.
back of it. PCH, yeah, right up there.
Jeez.
And we're just like, oh, that's cool. Anyway, you know,
Woman of the
sweet
year.
dress.
Yeah.
You know, it's nuts.
Oh shit.
That's funny. I
Dude.
saw her at Starbucks one time, and she had these two little dudes following her around, just like so enamored with her. They weren't with her,
Oh, they were just like,
but they were just
fans?
like, and she went to go order, and they went at the Starbucks table, sat down, and just stared at her, and then and I was like, fuck, man, that's got to be tiring,
Dude, I'll tell you, and Brian, I mean, 3 years before Caitlyn started making the transition, when it was Bruce, Brian, 3 years before any of this news came out, he's like, dude, I'm telling you, Bruce is transitioning. I go, you're out your fucking mind, dude. He goes, no, I'm telling you, I got a buddy who works on his house and looked in the window and saw, like, I'm telling you, he's transitioning. I go, you're out of your fucking mind, dude. And then probably like 2 years after, I was at Starbucks off PCH, and at the time it was Bruce, but he had like this long ponytail and like these real nice nails. I'm like, man, maybe Brian's fucking right. Pan fucking till now. I mean, yeah, Brian was dead on.
Damn.
We're at the PCA in Malibu.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
but
Malibu
same.
market.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Cross Creek.
Hell yeah.
Or yeah, that's funny.
Are you talking about vintage?
No. The right by like
Malibu market right there.
yeah, exactly.
That's the spot, man. Yeah, if you want to see Jerry Seinfeld, go there. They have a Porsche club that goes there all the time. I almost brought my car up there, but they're there every, I think, like Saturday.
Malibu's crazy because I used to live there, and at that Starbucks, I opened the door for some girl, and like 6 a.m. It was Katie Holmes.
Yeah, that's the
It's-
spot.
Shit like that, you know. It's like, oh wow, I know
If you're a
you.
star fucker, that's the place to like chill out, grab a coffee,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, holding the door open for like Pamela Anderson. You're like, what? It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Are we promoting anything for you?
Thick boy.
When's this come out?
This Thursday.
Oh, damn. This year, like now, dude.
Yeah, we're
Thick
live.
Boy gear. Thick Boy Bike Club is thickboy.com for all your
I meant
stuff.
to ask you, dude. I'm in cycling.
Are you inside like a
the-
road bike?
Road bike, but now they're making me a gravel bike.
Oh, sick.
Who's making it for me? Mosaic.
you would
is
love
Those are
that.
dope.
You're gonna love that.
Because I
dude.
just got a road bike.
Okay, cool.
I get it Saturday. Yeah, from Specialized.
Did you receive the text I sent one time, and it was like a screenshot of my Strava, and I was like, "Yo, does this fucking?"
Oh no, I didn't get it.
Yeah, I think it was when you changed your number. I was like, I had like 600 feet of climb, like
Beastie.
rode for roughly an hour, maintained 15 miles per hour.
You're strolling, man. Yeah,
that's me killing myself.
Yeah,
by
that's
the way.
that's going nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I decided to get a road bike because I work with Specialized, and then I was like, I want to do something cool, man. So I'm gonna ride from San Francisco to LA and then just give all the money to charity.
Oh fuck,
So I'm
dude!
gonna do
How
that
many
in
days
December,
are you gonna do that
January.
Was it
over?
like 500, 470 miles?
Yeah, it's
something
probably
like
taking
that?
me 5 days. I'll sleep at night and then wake up early.
Are you gonna like have your fucking sleeping kit on the bike? Are you gonna be
No,
like
I'm
legit
not
like
that hardcore.
Straight into a hotel.
Yeah,
4-star.
Yeah, like Four Seasons. yeah.
Dude,
I
I'm
don't get that
halfway
hardcore.
I'm halfway tempted to try that, but I don't know if I could keep up. Man.
I love it, man.
I did Santa Barbara to San Diego 3 days.
How was that?
It's cool. It was
When the
camped
fuck
out at
did
night.
you do that? You're the biggest pussy ever on a bike.
No, I just hate bicycles. You know, it's like, well, I like bicycling, but it's Steve was like, hey, let's go on a ride. And all of a sudden we're going to like every bicycle shop in LA. And I'm like, why are we? He's like, no, I want to go see if they have a lock over here. So we're going over there. He's like, oh, the one in LA has one downtown. Okay, cool. Then we're all over there. And then he's like, well, dude, I got a spot at the store in 20 minutes. We got to get in an Uber, put our bikes on the Uber, and then go to it's like,
You're like, dude, what the fuck?
it's just not, if you want to do 4 to 6 miles, I would love to. But he'll be like,
It's too much.
Well, you don't want to go
20
shopping on a bike.
dude,
Yeah.
24 miles in, you're like, bro, fuck, dude. Like you're just mad. It's like not supposed to be
Not
like that.
relaxing. Yeah, I just dig riding by myself because I'm constantly talking to a mic, and I got 2 kids, so
What
there's all
mic?
the. What's up?
This Mike,
yeah, okay.
he's in the podcast.
I was just
This
gonna
is
say,
Brendan
wait. I was
Schaub.
like, what mic?
Yeah.
I was like, what mic? Because when I'm trying to talk to people while I'm biking, I get all this wind.
Talk to Specialized about that, dude.
What
Yeah,
mic works on a bike?
Like, what mic are you using, dude?
That's
you
great.
can podcast and bike? No, thank God I can't. So I just like get on the bike, put my headphones on, and cruising, man. I love it.
What do you listen
I'm
to?
addicted to it. I'm really into Ryan Bingham right now. Did you guys watch Yellowstone?
Oh yeah, of course.
That's my fucking show.
What Ryan Bingham's the which guy?
He's the guy in the white hat who they got out of prison, and then they kick him out, right? And
Oh,
then
yeah,
they
yeah, the skinny-
He's a real singer.
Hey, is he really?
Yeah, he's a real
Dude,
singer.
that's the-
Legit singer.
Best show on television.
Agree 100%. I'm actually headed to Montana next week because I fell so much in love with that show. I was like, I want to check out Montana.
I'm so attracted to the daughter.
Oh, Beth?
Yeah,
Yeah, she's pretty hot.
she's my type.
Yeah, dude, I told my agent represents them. I went, dude, if they put me in as a thick ass cowboy or something as an extra, I'll brand myself in Montana.
I can see that.
I'll fucking brand myself right now, dude.
Yeah, Kevin Costner. It's like he's probably my favorite. Like
I
he's
like
just,
Rip.
Rip. Yeah,
Yeah,
Rip's
best
no.
man.
But I mean, like just making movies. Like if it's a Kevin Costner movie, you know it's going to be good.
Is he though? I was thinking about. I wasn't the biggest fan before this because he did like Dancing with the Wolves, right?
You didn't like that?
Yeah.
Waterworld.
Waterworld.
Field of Dreams. That's a good one. That's
For the love of the game.
You're talking about the 90s, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if he came out with a Waterworld 2, I'm not rushing to the movie
What
theater.
did he just? He just did Emily's Game. What was that called?
Yeah, I don't know.
Molly's Game. He was the dad.
Oh yeah, Molly's Game's
Molly's
good.
Game.
Yellowstone's so goddamn
Yeah, it's
good.
so good.
What's up with Thick Boy? That's your own thing.
I like
Yeah,
the branding.
Thick Boy. Yeah, thickboy.com. It's the club. It's the Thick Boy Bike Club. Just thick dudes on bikes, and we started merch, and then the Thick Boy
And-
Bike Club, and then we jumped on with we're doing a collab with Specialized. So
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool,
Where,
man.
where are you selling your merch at?
thickboy.com.
Right. Okay. And how are the orders being fulfilled?
I have a whole filling station right up the street.
You do it yourself?
No, I have a company.
The company that does
Yeah.
it?
Because we're getting in the game, dude.
You definitely should,
We're,
dude.
we're becoming our own fulfillment center.
Oh, really? You're
Yeah.
gonna do your own?
We're not no more fucking 3PL, dude. We just got a warehouse.
Oh yeah,
And
We're going in there. We're gonna have a warehouse manager, and
Doing it all in house.
that's dope.
Strategizing.
ultimately, we'll be able to take people who don't have their merch game like
Yeah,
going,
figure it out,
and be
yeah.
like, hey man, like we can bring you on as a client and do better by you than any of these.
100% because they take a chunk, dude.
Yeah.
you know
They
how it
take a
is.
huge chunk.
They
Right.
take a chunk.
Now it's all in house.
We're just gonna take a slice.
So nibble. For sure.
You're gonna run it like Dana White. Just a slice, Doug. Just a slice.
sliver.
Such a pinch.
Yeah, just a little pinch. Just a little pinch off the top.
I love
By
it.
pinch, I mean 30%. Yeah.
How many products do you have? I saw you have mugs, right? Is that Thick Boy mugs?
We don't have Thick Boy mugs. We got hoodies, tees, hats, shorts, sweats. We got tie-dye stuff coming out at the end of this month.
And it's at thickboy.com. Do you have a website, Brendan
Thick,
Schaub?
just thickboy.com.
and it's
Oh, yeah?
3 C's thick.
3 C's. That's
Thick with
I
three
own, I own the
Cs.
copyright on 3 C's. 2
Really?
C's, I can't tell you. 3
Oh,
C's is what I
shit.
do.
3
That's
C's.
great.
That's you.
Super thick. I'm 3 C's thick.
And I'm surprised you're not getting into the shoe game yet, or is that?
I would love to. I'm such a freaking sneakerhead, but it's like Nike doesn't give a fuck. Like,
Right.
what?
Yeah.
Dude, we work with Jordan, dumbass. You know, so
Right.
I'm a sneakerhead by trait, like
Yeah.
a motherfucker. So
We're getting in the shoe game.
Yeah, dude, we're
Dude,
fucking.
Just a slice.
I'm like, dude, I thought we were really starting to kill it, and then we rolled up your driveway, and I'm like, fuck, we got work to do.
The Aston
I'm
Martin.
exhausted though, man. I'm exhausted though.
Are you?
Nah, I shouldn't say that. No, my gig's actually pretty easy.
I'm just saying that to be nice.
I'm just trying to inspire people.
Not at all.
No, actually, if I want to stand up, I only work 3 days a week.
That's so funny, dude. I'm going up to Montana and just fuck it. Like,
I'm going on a bike ride for a week.
God.
Yeah.
Really
when do you work?
really like this TV show I saw. Heading up to Montana just to check it out.
You guys are all quiet. You're all, well, when do you actually work, dude?
Oh my god.
No, it's a lot of. I shouldn't call it work. I would do it for free. You know, they just happen to compensate me for it.
Yeah.
Stand up too. I absolutely fucking love it,
Yeah.
man. So
I mean, the comedy club grind gets a little bit Groundhog's Day.
it gets tough, man. Like my, I don't know if it's CT or I just do so many shows. Like my brother's like, oh, we've been here for. Remember this. I'm like, I don't, dude. Like we could do stand up in Iraq.
blends
it
together.
all looks the exact. I don't get to see
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
It's like show, hotel, and then I'm on the
Radio.
plane. Like like it's all
Yeah.
the same shit.
Do you work out on the road? 'Cause I fucking just sit in a bath all day on the road.
It depends. Like when I was in Utah, they have great mountain biking there, so we drove up there and did mountain biking there. It depends what city.
Yeah.
Every city we go to, there's a bunch of bros who are like, dude, come to the gym, let's roll. I'm like, no, dude, I'm all set on dudes.
Dude, I gotta give you this, man. We got this in Amazon finally.
Oh, damn, that's dope.
Steve-O's hot sauce for your butthole.
Oh, wow. Is
Yeah.
it really hot?
It's so fucking delicious, man. Like we didn't put too much emphasis on making it hot. We put the emphasis on delicious.
on tasty.
It's so delicious,
I
dude.
love.
Your butthole probably will find
Oh,
out
hell
about
yeah.
because you'll eat enough.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, here, have 2 bottles, dude.
I like, my girl's straight Mexican, and she loves spicy shit. And I can handle spice. Like, she'll make homemade salsa. Like, she made this morning for her breakfast. She's always making
love
homemade
that.
salsa. She's going to love this. But on this week's King of the Sting, I don't know whose fucking idea it was, but it was like a TikTok, like, viral thing where there's those hot chips, tortilla chips, that are mixed with, like, ghost peppers and something else.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, so they're like, we should all eat one on air. And I'm like, I can handle hot stuff. Not a big
Yeah.
deal. Dude.
I
It fucked
think
me
the,
up.
King in the Ring Sting.
I
Dude,
think
for real,
fuck.
the hot ones people are doing that.
The
for
chip-
for
the
some
chips?
reason, I wanna
Theirs?
say, yeah. I don't know. I think it's a new
Well,
thing
that's
they're
interesting
doing.
because
I
then
think
you
we
don't
beat
have
them
to
to
dip
it.
it into salsa. It's
It's so hot, but it's not like fun hot. It's
Yeah.
not
It's
Yeah.
like you're supposed to buy it and like make a YouTube video of yourself eating it.
like
It's
like
sort of
Theo,
like the
Theo,
premise.
Theo's like he just saw white and his eyes were like dripping wet and like
Yeah.
I couldn't feel my mouth. It wasn't fun.
This is you're just gonna enjoy it. I wanted to enjoy it. It's
Yeah.
hot. It's hot, but it's.
Man, you guys are all
It's
you
not
guys
great.
are shoes, merch,
We're trying.
hot
We're
sauce,
trying. We're trying our asses
Cameo.
off.
yeah, dude.
Not fun,
Yeah,
no,
He's
no.
gonna post his dick on OnlyFans.
Yeah, dude. I'm ready.
Cameo was a millisecond. Cameo, I fucking thought I'll try it, and I hated it.
But it's fun doing these business adventures,
Yeah,
right? Like
for sure.
I launch my own whiskey line in January.
Damn,
That's
is
been a
that
2-year process.
is it working?
Well, we launch it in January. We have
okay.
we have distribution. It's a Japanese whiskey. It's gonna be sick, man.
Japanese
Nice,
whiskey.
dude. Congrats on that.
What's it made out of?
What do you mean?
What?
Like it's so
What is
they-
whiskey made out of? It's rye.
Rye. Yeah, so it's going to be like a blend, but it's Japanese whiskey, and the manufacturer and the plant is actually in Japan,
That's cool.
and then
Wow.
they bottle in Atlanta.
It's like the Lost in Translation, where he's the Japanese whiskey commercial dude. You
Yeah,
ever
I
seen
love
that movie?
it. No, but I'm excited.
Yeah,
cool,
dude.
cool story on that note. See you guys later.
Like no,
Yeah.
nobody.
Thank you, Scott.
Dude, that's fucking awesome, man. What a blast. Let's cut you loose, dude. This is
All right, man. This
fucking
dog's
great.
fucking dope.
Yeah, she is.
You have a dog?
You know, I found her in the streets of Peru.
Oh, really?
Brought her home. She's a street dog from South America.
Damn, super chill.
That's why she was
Yeah.
just eating your trash.
yeah. She just ate one of your shoes.
Yeah, because she was
dude.
running
loves
around.
it.
I was like, oh fuck. Hopefully he doesn't have a.
Yeah, we were in here with Ryan Sheckler, the skater.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Dude, she fucking farted so bad. That was the worst fart I think I've ever been trapped in.
Boy, this dog hit the fucking lottery on the streets of Peru, and your rich ass finds her.
She has like 300,000 Instagram followers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, she's a good girl.
Dope dog, man.
Well, hey, dude, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'll be in Phoenix November 5th through the
Oh,
7th.
yeah, well, shit.
And then the week after that, I'm in Nashville at Zany's.
Cool, man.
Yeah, so
Nashville's
Phoenix,
fun.
Nashville, man.
You're making me want to get back on the road, dude.
You should do it, man.
You really are.
If you're in the same city, man, come. I'd love to have you. That'd be
dude, I
dope.
would
That'd be
love
so
that too.
fun.
Yeah.
Fans would go nuts.
Dude, I'm fucking tempted, man. Like, what days you got?
Phoenix Stand Up Live is November 5th through the 7th. And then Nashville, I think, is the week after that, like the 11th through the 13th.
Dude, I could see driving to Phoenix, man. I don't need
That's an
much
easy
of
drive.
I don't need any excuse to do that.
Let me know.
Dude, I'll fucking come do a set for you,
That'd
dude.
be dope, man. I'd love that.
Full
Let's do
capacity.
it. Yeah. tfatk.com for tickets. Thirsty,
Dude,
buddy.
Yeah, right on, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Man, I have always just really liked Brendan Schaub, man. And I also really like you guys, the street team, the people who stick around to the very end of the podcast. And I like to tell you special stuff at the end of the podcast. And this week I'm going to tell you that for Brendan's shows at Stand Up Live in Phoenix, it's November 5th, 6th, and 7th, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's possible, even very likely, that we're going to load up the RV, the podcast studio van, and drive on out to Phoenix. Maybe I'll be a special guest at one or two, I don't know, maybe none, but possible that if you go see Brendan's shows in Phoenix that I'll be there. He got me really excited about doing stand-up again. So, yeah, dudes, I gotta go, like, ice my ribs or something. Love you, dudes.